very strong in the previous one, and they obviously won game 1. We're seeing the Jayce Trist matchup again, but then the Sejuani is really interesting as well, because that does set up some more carry melee potential for Rich in the solo lane.
I wanted to mention the Ezreal quickly just because it works really well with the comps that TSM has been pushing out with Jayce. So the poke has been nice. It has been doing a good job on its own in lane, as you'd expect. So the fact that it's getting past laning phase, which has always been the fear of AD carries whenever they're locking in Ezreal, is a big win, and it's been working out. So.
Yeah, in a way, I'm actually super curious about the jungle swap because I think Maokai goes super well with the poke of Ezreal and Jayce, right? We've seen how strong this combo is. But then on the side of Dig, trying to get Santorin involved earlier with the Sejuani and then maybe picking something top like the Jax, if it doesn't get banned out by TSM here, will be really interesting to see from Dig because we have talked about how Rich has a lot of carry potential if they want to put resources into him.
And without having the Rumble top lane, higher chance he's going to be able to actually get prio.
Yep.
I am also a little curious with TSM here since they do not have the Rumble. I thought that was one of the most effective ways at reaching the backline, even if the Jayce and Ezreal were hitting with some shock blasts and some true shot barrages. So overall, I am liking, it's very, very similar from TSM. But Dig, I think, is hoping that they've solved it by getting rid of the Rumble.
I want to see Renata be picked by TSM. I think it does really well versus Rakan. Generally, Dignitas wants to walk into them, and you're seeing a Tristana first pick. I think in general, Renata does quite well against this comp.
Another Hauntzer ban.
Hauntzer drawing 3 bans.
To your point, Jad, I actually really like Dig's first 3 because they're going to play poke, but you have some of the best engage already.
Yeah, they couldn't get Rakan in game 2 either because it was 4-5 banned.
Exactly, and I think if they can just have a good 4-5 that supplements the kind of poor laning phase they're going to have from, bottom top, then they're going to be able to have a great job.
Oh, this
Chime,
is...
Maokai support.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hauntzer, Maokai top.
Nope.
They banned out the Mal fight.
Chime has flexed
Bringing
it before.
Back.
No,
yeah, I think it's going to be Chime, Maokai support.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never know.
Oh,
and Ksante for Rich, it gets through.
Oh, Dig wants to win this game.
And the Ziggs.
They have a Ziggs weird flex going on now. I don't know. Maybe they'll
Do
put
we
it
think
anywhere.
that's Tomo playing it?
I think this is
Tomo.
I think it's
no,
Jensen
you're right.
Ziggs.
Yeah,
I think it's Jensen Ziggs.
Yeah.
I would really like it mid because Tristana is a great matchup into Ezreal. You can promo push him. You have the kill pressure when you can just jump on him whenever you want. So I really like Dig's draft this game. I will see. I think either way you put the Trist mid or bot, it's going to be fine. But I really like it. They got a ton of engage. They got playmaking everywhere.
And Trist Ziggs is just so awful to deal with. You give them time with a turret and it's down.
They do have a lot of range with the Trist Ziggs, but the other 3 are very short range. So I do like the Poppy addition here to stop the frontline engage from Dignitas. And you yourself have plenty of poke as well. So you can just land Jayce, Shock Blast, Ezreal Qs, poke away at them. And whoever gets ahead has tools to deal with the other team pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, that's why I like TSM's comp personally is you have so much poke. If there's ever a level of engage coming at you, especially the Rakan cannot walk into this comp, honestly, with the Poppy. I think Poppy was a great pick
2
here.
seconds to trade.
It's Ziggs bot, baby.
Jensen Tristana doing the same mid lane matchup once again. Ziggs Rakan, we'll have to see how that works out. As you can hear, Solo's made his way back up to the caster
He's
desk.
prepping. He's already there.
Kobe, Solo, get
Flash in the way that Dignitas played around Rich previously. But I think that Hauntzer on the side of TSM Solo, it feels like some have maybe discredited him, saying, he's just playing Renekton, or in the beginning, he's just playing Malphite, but drawing out bans in this case.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to get triple banned or, especially double banned in the first 3, you must be doing something right. So props to Hauntzer. He's given his team a lot of advantage in terms of draft. It's a shame they got outdrafted anyways, but we'll see. Maybe. But I really like Dig's draft. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I just have, when we watch Team Liquid use the double Yordles, especially as your 2 carries, it just looks so good. And for so long, I feel like people have not been giving Ziggs the respect it deserves as a flex pick. I want to see how Tomo, plays it in the bottom lane. But in the LPL, they never stopped having it as an option as a bottom lane carry, and oftentimes used in kill lanes. Here, though, they're going to face check some poke.
Dignitas stepping up into the tri-brush. Connect with the Q.
Nice little dodge there. But yeah, the Ziggs, especially with combinations of CC champs as support, just like Rakan, you can get a lot of good plays into satchel charges to set up for jungle ganks. So I love to see this lane as a jungler. And oftentimes you can get some early attention down there, whereas a lot of other mage lanes, sometimes you just play away from.
That's down in the morning. You wake up stressed out.
Then there's another episode on how you use stress to get excited and use it for positive. As we get back into the game, it's not just a stress hormone. As here we go, Rich charging up them Qs. We're back to good old League of Legends.
Yeah. If it was going to be paused anymore, we could give that podcast over to the players on the stage for the time a little bit, but doesn't look like they'll need to be queuing that into the ears for now, as we are back into game. Not much has changed since last time.
Yeah, they solved some bug that they never told me what was, so.
We were very in the dark here, but it just keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, and I think this game is going to be like last one, where it's a little slow early. There's not really much to play around. I think Vi will try to do the same thing where she gets the early Drake at like level 4 or 5, using some of that bot prio. But Ziggs wants to farm up, get Lost Chapter, and just one-shot waves over and over again.
What's really cool too is the Vi this time around has the Maokai on the Vi's team. And my favorite little tweak that the designers have started making is that there are a lot of support champions now that have extra damage to jungle monsters.
Oh.
So Maokai's Q gets all this bonus damage for jungle monsters, really helps out with both leashing as well as doing dragons. Same thing for Rel as Turtle is going in.
Already burned by the Ignite, from just above 100 HP, but Poome and Tomo cannot close the space to follow up. Still, they do force him to back.
Yeah, good by Poome. I mean, trading your HP for the AD carry is definitely a winning strategy. And I think especially since the first 2 games, they had much tougher laning phases. Right now, I think they can, they're doing all right. I mean, the start of this is looking really good.
And those are those kind of kill-threatening combos that I was talking about with the Ziggs lanes where, you know, they use their Ignite this time around, but they've attracted the jungle attention whenever you do really deep trades like that and get some summoner spells start to go. Junglers start to get attracted to bottom side. Rich is playing with fire here.
Yeah, Rich is getting bullied by Hauntzer right now.
Wow.
Flashes keeps enough. Just over 30 HP to be able to outlive that.
Wow, really good. I mean, Poppy is especially if you're a tank versus Poppy, I mean, once she's below that half HP threshold, she gets really tanky, and you saw Hauntzer kind of abuse that, where you just can't win these, like, you know, just auto trades with her.
Yeah.
So good job by Hauntzer. I was a little skeptical of Poppy being the counter pick in the Ksante, but this is a good start to it for sure.
Hauntzer definitely showed up. A lot of people not putting very much respect on his name, Rich included, having to blow his flash now.
Yeah.
So we'll see if there are any extra openings to happen up there. But of course, Ksante is also really, really good at playing at his own tower and then threatens you with, you know, the multiple knockbacks and moving you back in, especially post level 6, to turn around some of those kills. So while you did get the flash, still have to be a little bit careful with that champion.
Yeah, and Rich still playing so aggressive. I mean, this is kind of his thing, that regardless of what happens in the lane, he's just going to try to play as aggressive, as strong as possible. And I'm not really sure if they're going to invest the resources from Bugi to really get a kill, so maybe this works out in his favor, being unrelenting.
Bugi channeling up the queue, looking for a target, finds Santorin, who
Nice.
moves on forward to dish up first blood to Jensen.
Such good focus there by Santorin. He does not care. Boogie's trying to queue him and keep him off mid lane, but he just goes for the flash. And Insanity did not respect the W2 flash from Sejuani. When you start your W, the first swing doesn't do that much damage, but the second swing does so much. And Santorin flashes in. Insanity does not really flash away. Thought that Bugi had him with a little bit of a bump with his Q for peel there. And Dignitas get first blood in a pretty big way. Let's take another look. Goes in for the trade. We know this, the short hop, the explosive charge. But here's where it is. Santorin's like, I don't care. I'm running straight past you. Boom. Q, flash, you're dead. Nicely picked up there.
Yeah, and this is really big because, I mean, they already had now they have a really big lead on the mid lane, and the fact that Jayce doesn't have Dirk, and he's not going to have Dirk for the next, like, few minutes while he's laning, I think it's going to be really hard for him to even, like, deal with the pressure, because Tristana is going to instantly clear the waves. Maybe they can even get the dragon up this.
And Jensen now with the Noon Quiver, a kill to his name with first blood. And we know that Tristana likes to get ahead, get that level advantage to increase that range. Ziggs and Tristana are going to be such big threats to these towers later on into the game. Poome making his way back bot though.
Good little adaptation too. As Poome made his way back bottom, he drops a control ward in that dragon to see if the Vi is going to do the same thing. Start up that early dragon, try and make use of the early denting blows. Because they definitely have the firepower this time around to take the fight and maybe even stop them or take the dragon themselves.
I'm really liking what I see so far. I mean, it was a kind of a question of, can Dig play like the other side, playing a little bit more early game? They're playing a little bit more lane pressure. And even though they don't have such hard like lane champions, oh, this could be a kill.
Going for it over the wall. Rich grabs Hauntzer, flashes towards Try, does have Vi standing by. Bugi creating enough pressure where Rich can't follow up.
Yeah, the earlier play where he got Rich's flash was actually a protection play for himself to pay himself forward so he does not die in a solo kill. And level 5 Vi not gonna cause too much threat there to Rich.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused what Boogie's doing. He must be one creep off of 6. Oh, he's really close, yeah.
Super, there's 6. But Rich did get a glimpse of him.
He did, and I don't know, weird game plan by TSM. I mean, it just seems like they're a little lost without like the hard lane pressure that they had in the first couple games, because not only are they not getting objectives or really getting leads anywhere, but Boogie's like a whole level down from Santorin.
Yeah, this has happened a couple times with TSM with these earlier objectives where they're a little bit slower, undecided on some of their calls ahead of time. Maybe the in-game leader a little bit less focused for TSM than for Dig, because Dig have been pretty snappy on their decisions.
Snappy. I like that.
At least they're quick, right?
They have been quick, yeah.
We don't always have to be right. It's like we choose quickly.
I do think it's fair to say, though, that even though Dignitas did lose game number 2, they were still using that idea in the early game to always be trading somewhere else on the map, even if TSM was making a play. And then now with some agency on blue side, Dignitas are the ones with the early lead. 1,700 gold for them as the dragon now gets started up by TSM.
So they are seen by the control ward that was left, but honestly, this dragon is not a mountain dragon. That thing goes down quickly. And here we get to see just what I was talking about. The Maokai helps out so much with damage, with the extra bonus damage, even coming from a support role, that there's no time for Dignitas to be able to do anything about it. They can see it, but nothing you can do about it.
Whether it's from jungle or support, you still got the saplings to set up, and then now, yeah, paired with the Vi works out very well for TSM to grab the first dragon of this game, but Dignitas not pouring any resources to contest, still holding on to that Rift Herald that Santorin had picked up top, and see where he ends up deciding to throw that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to see what Santorin does coming out of this base and getting the river. I think there's an idea of putting it bottom and trying to get the Ziggs just the tower instantly, but in a slow game like this, I kind of like using it mid, so if you get the second Herald, you just instantly get the mid tower.
Yeah, especially with Tristana too, already taking off turret plate by herself.
Santorin setting up for the play, puts the ult behind him, so Insanity flashes towards his turret. Chime is nearby, and Bugi as well, making his way through the jungle. But there's that Rift Herald we were talking about. Even Poome making his rotation so that Dignitas can go for this crash. There's the Nature's Grasp from Chime, but knocked up on the entry. Bugi retreating towards the turret with the flash, and the True Shot barrage coming from downtown. But Dignitas still being able to sustain themselves through that damage. They get multiple plates off of this, and do have a wave to continue pushing forth. Jensen on the Tristana with the help of Tomo on Ziggs can just take that turret down.
And again, look at how clean the plan was there from Dig. You could tell they made that call. Hey, Rakan, W in on the Vi immediately, because we've got Ziggs already in the river to add the Ziggs damage on top and try and make the turn. And even though Dig don't get that kill, they still are able to bring the Ziggs to the Rift Herald turret. So even though you don't Rift Herald bottom, you still get the first turret bonus. The satchel charge comes up, and Dignitas immediately, such an early tower, such an early gold lead for themselves. Pretty well executed, honestly. And they only left bottom open a short while, which didn't really get punished. Turtle wasn't able to get a turret plate or anything down there, pushing back.
Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Dig so far. They're playing so well, and it's especially scary because, you know, Jayce, no flash for the next 5 minutes. Like, it's going to be impossible for him to actually catch the wave at mid. So Tristana is going to be able to go up, down, sideways, you know, around and around, wherever she wants to.
Literally vertical with the rocket jump in the cave. Jensen's going to be all over the place, and Poome almost able to get him before the Hex Flash over the wall. But that's exactly what you're talking about. Once the mid lane goes down, all the pressure leaks into both sides, jungle included. So Tristana hard pushes, and all of a sudden you've got Santorin and Poome roaming around, chasing you out of your own jungle. It starts to show itself in less farm for Bugi, and, you know, possible picks.
Santorin's a searching. Poome walked by his side. Chime has the ult to try to disengage, but Jensen making sure rocket jump over the wall. Teleport coming in for Dignitas. Insanity gets a Q from mid, but Bugi has fallen. Jensen now 2 kills into the pocket and going for more as Rich has made his way to the play. WildTurtle cannot escape. No flash, no arcane chip, nothing to save him now. Turtle's shell has been cracked, and Dignitas not letting anyone out of it.
Oh, Rich! Oh, Rich Ksante! How I've missed you! Flashes in for the kill onto Turtle. Dignitas are not going to let TSM have any moment of safety. So much pressure after mid tower is down. Riot immediately setting it up. It just happens. They get the pick into the jungle. They teleport even as well to get even more forward. And Jensen's able to go back upside. I lost a couple turret plates on the cross map play, but that's not nearly what they were able to get.
Yeah, this is really good. It's what you want to do. Take advantage of the fact that you have first move mid, and you have the long range from Ziggs, which even helps. Yeah. And I think it's kind of funny that Ksante, at first she looks like kind of a bad TP, but he makes it work. He says, no, I'm not coming here for nothing. I'm going to get a kill.
The classic top laner mentality comes in, goes immediately onto Turtle, and then hits that Q3. Yeah. Just the tip of the Q3. As soon as that thing lands, though, he's like, I'm going for this. Calculated. Barely escapes too. The sapling's not able to explode in time. No little tick of damage. Nicely executed from Dignitas. The only question now is, can they keep it up? Because it's a very quick pace they've set for themselves.
And look at the gold. Jensen, pretty rich right now, despite Rich not being Jensen specifically. 6.5 gold. And now Chime just wants to create space for this Rift Herald. It's TSM that are looking for something to try to offset the momentum that Dignitas have been building within this game.
I've noticed that Poome is very much a fair weather emoter. When they are winning, he's all about the emotes. Oh yeah, thumbs down when they're winning. But when they are losing, he was quiet. He was so quiet.
Quiet as a mouse.
He never emotes his own mistakes. He's definitely a win more type of
shameless
type of emoter. Pretty funny though, because this game he's got the freedom to do it, and now he's going for Insanity.
In with the quickness, charmed up. Jensen rocketing on in to make sure he gets another kill for himself. And Dignitas keeping their eyes on Bugi, retreating towards the turret. Chime has to flash away, but cannot outrange what Jensen has to offer. Double kill for the mid laner, and following up for more. Hauntzer setting himself into the grave soon enough, seeing if he can bring someone down with him, but that is not the case, as Rich is feeling good on the Ksante. Like Kobe said, we missed him on the Ksante, and able to set up with the rest of Dignitas. Not an ace, but nearly that.
All right, it's a massacre. It's a massacre now. It's a massacre now. That last one looked a little demoralizing. There's these small plays where, like, your Vi Q just right in front of him, and you get knocked up by the Rakan and killed right in front of his face. And oh my God, it is looking like a disaster for TSM. Poome, as we were talking about, he started out the play up on top by the tower, and they get the first kill. Observables are so zoomed out, we get to see the Ksante work down on the bottom side too. But yeah, as you mentioned, Turtle also goes down. That's the Rakan knockup I was talking about, right in front of Tomo. It's just like, oh, TSM, they couldn't get anything here.
Yeah, 3-1 for Dig, right? Is that what I said earlier?
4. Oh yeah, games.
Yeah, 3-1 for Dig, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, they're running away with this. I'm not sure what TSM can really do. Hopefully, they're going to need some really help from Dignitas to get back in this. But I want to see what they do. I mean, when you're in a game like this, especially as a player, I mean, you want to keep trying, but it's pretty demoralizing. And you kind of just want to be able to focus on, like, you know, what we're going to do next game. thinking about like, you know, what champs are we gonna play? What's really the problem? Trying to diagnose like why you're losing these games. And looking at it for TSM, I think they're gonna have to make some drastic changes, especially in the mid jungle. I think that the Vi, although they won the game last game, kind of wasn't the solution. I think it was just kind of like a good pick. So hopefully they can go in and draft something that's just something that they can actually play mid jungle effectively, because right now they're just unable to really snowball with their strongest players, which is Insanity and Bugi.
Just past 17 minutes in, and Shelly's gonna set the second charge onto this inhibitor turret as Dignitas stretch their gold lead all the more. One goes in. Hauntzer, though, does have the escape to get out. Teleport coming in from Rich to support this push from Dignitas. They don't quite have a wave, though, but this turret is looking weak and easy for Ziggs to be able to knock down.
Yeah, turret's looking real weak this patch when Tristana Ziggs are in the game, and this is why I love the comp so much. The double Yordles, the Demolitionists, you can snowball insanely quickly because you just take all towers. If that team gets Rift Herald, oh my god, it's insane. We saw what happened mid lane, exploded that tower, such a big gold lead just balloons, and Ziggs can also make all these follow-up plays where we're seeing so many off-screen ultimate follow-ups to his teammates making picks. It just really do like that duo carry, as Team Liquid, of course, were the ones to kind of lead the charge with APA, bringing it in and getting a lot of other teams on board as well.
True, and I think, at least for talking about draft a little bit more, that I think that they've really found their solution to the Ezreal. TSM just slamming Ezreal the last couple games, and now we know, oh, we're going in hard.
Cease and desist onto Tomo, and True Shot Barrage to weaken him all the more. So Tomo does end up falling here to Insanity. First kill for Insanity in this game, first kill for TSM.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need a lot more of that, but it's a start for sure, and I think, you know, maybe they can get a shutdown on one of the higher kill champions and get a little bit more gold, but picks like that is definitely how you're going to come back in the game.
That's for sure what I do. As soon as you're losing a game like this, start pinging all the objective bounties and the bounties on people's heads. I mean, Tristana, it's going to be hard to kill him, but that is a huge gold shutdown if they could get it. And Hauntzer here is trying to get an objective bounty shutdown for TSM. So good to see that they're still trying to find those pieces of gold, those areas where they can, you know, pick something up and work their way into a comeback scenario, even though it is difficult losing all your territory with all your towers basically evaporating from the map pre-20 minutes. The only secondary tower they even have left standing is the mid one. You still always have to look for those comeback opportunities. Both top and bottom towers are pretty low objective bounty possibilities, and then any pick that does show itself to you have to immediately jump on, no hesitation. And that's one thing Vi is very good at.
Yeah, and funny enough, I mean, unless they want to pull Baron, you know, right now or very soon, they're actually in a map state where there's not really much else to get. You know, there's not really many towers. So,
all right,
you know.
Well, Baron, I think they're pulling it right now in the darkness. Yep, they are going to go right for that on 20 minutes.
Already past half HP. There's the vision as WildTurtle threw down the ultimate, and Poome making sure Dig can't get into it. So Baron secured by Santorin, and Bugi way too low on the retreat.
I love it. You're like, well, as long as they don't get Baron, they can't kick a bunch more, right? All right, fine.
10,000 gold and a Baron.
All right, fine. We will get Baron then. Santorin looks for more.
See if he can get something off of it. Hauntzer has to flash away, though. Poome making sure to knock him up. And Santorin sticking on to Hauntzer means that Rich, Tomo, and Poome can bring this wave over towards mid to clear the tier 2 turret. They've got another wave coming their way with a cannon here at that. Over 2 minutes left on this Red Bull Baron buff, and they already set up so well with the pressure on the side lanes, and they'll continue to follow up on that, sending a teleport with Rich down bot to push that wave forward.
Yeah, and up top, Insanity teleports in. It's a double teleport, triple teleport, counting both teams now.
3 from TSM to face off against Jensen, and Tomo Jensen flashing forward for the kill. Does take some damage, but has an easy retreat path here across the river.
All right, Jensen Tristana looking pretty good this time around. Looking pretty good this time around. 7 kills to his name. Fully stacked up bounty as well. Has been for a while. And like you called out, Rich had previously teleported to the bottom side, and he's Baron buffed up on this inhibitor, slowly trying to whittle that down. Dragon is available, though, so the thing you have to be worried about as Dig, if you overplay your hand right now and get a little bit too carefree, then there would be big comeback opportunity, but they're so far ahead that it's very difficult to overplay.
Yeah. I mean, right now, it just looks like they're being able to 2v5 them with bot side.
Yep, Dig having a good time down bot. Hauntzer, gone, gone, gone. Dignitas still pushing onto this inhibitor while taking everything mid. They've been splitting across all the lanes. Jensen just now coming to make sure they crack open that mid before returning towards that top. With one down for TSM, they are at the numbers disadvantage. So close to getting triple inhibitors right now, which will do so much in terms of the push, but here we go. There's Tomo picking up the kill onto Bugi. 2 still gone for TSM, and Chime stunned up. Jensen able to do so much damage from range. He and Tomo with all of these bodies before them to keep them protected, focused on the objectives, and big old waves of minions coming on in. That's Nexus turret number 2, 3 standing for TSM as the keeper's verdict sends 1 away. There's already some early celebration.
Don't drop the confetti yet.
They're holding on to it. Dignitas now calling for the confetti in game number 3.
Oh, that was hilarious. Prophetic music coming up here.
Now they'll know LCS is scripted, guys.
Yeah. Finger slipped, oopsies. But we all knew it was coming.